cross to our guest now. I do apologise. So we're going to cross to the spokesperson for Fatah's reformist democratic faction, Dimitri Diliani. Thank you very much for joining us. Sorry for the mix-up there. Now, let's just discuss why this is such a big story, because through all moments of strain and war, the Palm Sunday procession has always gone ahead, despite whatever else is going on. And so for this to be cancelled today is a big deal. What's your reaction to the Israeli police preventing top Catholic clerics from entering the Church of the Holy Sepulchre on such an important religious holiday?
Yes, we always have to remember that Jerusalem is an occupied city by international law and an occupied city by UN resolutions. And the Israeli forces are occupation forces, and the clergy that was today prevented from entering the Church of Holy Sepulchre, the most holiest place in Christianity, are individuals living under Israeli occupation. This is a Jewish supremacist, ideologically driven government, as the basic law of the State of Israel states, and therefore they act accordingly. Their biased and their persecution of all non-Jews, Christians and Muslims alike, has been not only documented through human rights organizations that do count the terrorist attacks that the Israeli government-sponsored terrorist groups, settler terrorist groups, conduct and commit against Christians in general, but also there is the State Department of the United States. The Zionist-infested State Department of the United States have already condemned the State of Israel for its persecution of Christians and prevention of our natural right as Palestinians, Christians, and Muslims to practice our religion. Today was additional layer of the infringement on our human rights by breaking the status quo. The status quo agreements are agreements written in the Ottoman pheromones back in the 1800s, and they organized the relationship between the monotheistic religions and whatever authority governs Jerusalem, because Jerusalem has been under occupation for centuries. So these pheromones and these agreements, they kind of coordinate the relationship. What the genocidal State of Israel did today was break that. And with that breaking of the status quo agreements, it establishes precedent that infringes seriously on the continuation of the Christian presence as we know it in the land of Jesus Christ. This is a major atrocity that took place today, a major war crime by the genocidal State of Israel, which is unfortunately backed by majority Christian countries like the United States of America. Unfortunately, again.
Of course, you know, Israel's always going to say we've cancelled today because of security. It's not safe because
it's not according to the status quo. It's first of all, they are an occupying force, and they really have no jurisdiction over our holy places. Two, the status quo agreements that were written and applied centuries before the establishment of the State of Israel were broken. And these are laws, and they were broken. And these are internationally recognized laws that they were broken by the State of Israel. If somebody is gonna decide who enters and who doesn't enter any church, are the people who are in charge of the church and not the occupying power, which is acting illegally and illegitimately.
Well, now, of course, because of today, Mr. Diliani, everything's in question to do with the Easter holiday, Easter Sunday, Easter Monday. What do you think will happen? Will they be cancelled too?
Well, I'll tell you, the Catholic Church has basically went ahead with the processions with no popular participation. They adhered to the restrictions that were imposed by the Israeli police, and still the Israeli occupation authorities, with a political decision that is ideologically motivated, have prevented them from entering the Church of Holy Sepulchre on Palm Sunday. Therefore, our response is we will be there at our church at any cost, practicing our God given right in our occupied homeland to pray on our holidays. And if the Israelis are going to stop us, which is expected to do, we are not going to give up our rights easily. And if it's going to be a showdown, let it be. We know they have the weapons. They are killers. They are committing genocide. They already bombed 3 churches in Gaza, and they have executed 5% of the Christian, or whatever is left from the Christians in Gaza in 2 years of the genocide. So we know they're going to be violent, and we know they're going to go genocidal. But this is the Holy Sepulchre Church that is the holiest of holies in Christianity, which we are as the Palestinian Christians and the Palestinian people entrusted with.
I want to ask you,
historically, we will be there, and we will attempt with our best peacefully to practice our rights. And if they're going to kill us, then let it be. We are going to be the Jesus of 2026 when we are following his footsteps in our own city.
Okay, so when the Pope, during Sunday Mass, he said those who wage wars cannot be heard by God. Who do you think he's sending this message to, and will they listen to it?
I believe that all churches, including the Catholic Church, have been extremely clear with their position regarding the Israeli genocidal war crimes and ethnic cleansing war crimes in Gaza, or even in Jerusalem and the rest of the West Bank. Also, the churches are very clear in opposing Christian Zionism. They consider it not to be Christianity at all. Also, these churches are becoming louder the more people and their flock and their congregations are viewing on social media the war crimes that Israel is committing against Palestinian children, Palestinian women, homes, hospitals, schools. And that pushes the churches to take more vocal and more public position. And this bothers the genocidal state of Israel that has been used since its establishment in 1948 to commit the genocide, to commit the war crime, and everybody is hush-hush about it. Now the world has changed, and people are watching live-streamed genocide for the first time in history. And Israel, just like all tyrants all throughout history, is following the same pattern. Instead of backing up and backing down, they are doubling down. And I believe that it's time for the world to have its say.
I mean, sticking with religion, it's interesting to note that there are 2 key Catholic politicians in Donald Trump's office, J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio. How do you expect them to react to this?
Zionists are not Christians. The patriarchs and the heads of churches in the Holy Land, these are the people entrusted with the holy places and the origins of Christianity, have already stated clearly that there is no such a thing as Christian Zionism. You are either Christian or Zionist. And for the 2 genocide complicit war criminals you mentioned, J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, are Zionists. And therefore, according to the Christian definition of who is Christian, what is Christianity, Zionism is in direct contradiction of the Christian values and the Christian faith. Therefore, they cannot be Catholics and Zionists. I see them being Zionists in their work and their complicity in the Israeli genocide of my people, and I never saw their Christianity anywhere. So maybe this would provoke them to invoke their Christianity and denounce their disgraceful Zionism.
We shall see about that. Many thanks for joining us on the programme. Always good to hear your thoughts. Fatah's reformist democratic faction spokesperson Dimitri Giuliani, thank you. Have a nice day.